Kirklees Better Outcomes Partnership is a social enterprise made up of 8 different specialist organisations. We work with anybody needing support to sustain their home. Our focus is around enabling independence and to help somebody live independently in their house, striving towards their ambitions around training, employment or accessing health services.
We decided to take this approach because over recent years, increased levels of demand and reducing budgets meant that services had gone to much shorter interventions and reduced periods of support. As a consequence, the presenting need was attended to, but not necessarily the underlying needs.
It's the largest SIB in the country and in Europe, and the first time we've had so many providers working together in collaboration. And I would say it's this collaboration that's at the heart of what we do with KBOP. We wouldn't be able to respond so flexibly to the needs of our participants, to the needs of the community, or to what we do as a support service without that trust and without that network who are really starting to come together now and to share their expertise across each of their services. We had an example recently with a young woman fleeing domestic abuse, and we had one partner supporting with the housing and one partner supporting with keeping that individual safe.
The support has just been absolutely immense, absolutely immense. I can't put in words how much it's helped me. I'm just in a safer place, mentally and physically.
There is a bit of a lack of understanding and knowledge around what these programmes are. However, locally we were involved with a Fair Chance Fund, which was a provider-led SIB, which was very successful and proved the efficacy of the approach.
It's the flexibility, really, is what we've found. I think we're used to being prescribed how a service might look at the front end, at the delivery end, and what we've had with this model is the opportunity to design it how we think it will best run.
There's no barriers in time scale of how long you're supposed to work with a client, or what's a contract spec is. This is more broadened, and you could tailor towards clients' needs around the well-being, around their mental health, around their housing needs, around support what they need to function in the community that they live in.
The direction that we want KBOP to go in now is to move away from traditional support that may have been a bit more deficit focused and may have been looking at what's wrong with an individual and start to work in a more person-centred and asset-focused way. We want to empower someone to achieve anything that might be within their ambition and use the flexibility of a SIB and an outcome-based contract to enable that. We want to use our capital flexibly to respond to the needs of each individual, and we've been able to use some of our revenue to create a personalisation fund already, which will be a facilitator of achieving those outcomes.
With this model, it's not set in stone, so we're not starting out with how it's going to look for the 5 years. It's constantly being reviewed, and we're constantly looking at what the people we work with, what their aspirations are and goals, and what is the best way of delivering support to them, and then we're flexing the model to kind of reflect that.
In response to COVID, we've made a number of changes. We adapted our service very quickly during that period, and we want to keep a lot of those adaptations that we made, because working in a different way where we weren't able to do face-to-face service, doing more over the phone, doing more online, doing more via WhatsApp or Zoom, we've actually enabled us to reach more people. We feel that there is now going to be a need for individuals that may have never previously engaged in services, and we want to respond flexibly to that.
I'm not judged by Joanne, I wasn't judged by Robert, I'm not judged by the housing support officers. It's non-judgmental, and to me that's a huge, huge thing.